Hey there, welcome to another video involving factoring. It's definitely a topic that people seem to like the least in high school math, or just when you're doing it on your own. Um, it's not easy, it's not fun, but it's something that's necessary to do if you don't have a calculator or you get a question like this on your test. So this is another kind of tool to add to your toolkit whenever you're doing factoring questions or you're dealing with quadratics. So last video, I talked to you how to factor an equation or an expression like this using factoring by grouping. So I'm going to use the exact same expression as I did in the last question, and I'm going to teach you how to do factoring using the box method. So when we did factoring by grouping, we took the 2, the coefficient, and we multiplied it by the constant, the 10, and we got 20. When we're using the box method, we do exactly the same thing. So we take the coefficient, multiply it by the constant, and we say, what two numbers multiply to 20 and add to this b value 9? Okay, the answer to that is 5 and 4, as you saw in the last video, right? And then everything's the same so far, right? We have plus 5x plus 4x, so these numbers go as the coefficients, plus 10. Okay, and this is where the difference comes. So in the last question, factoring by grouping, we grouped the first two terms together and the last two terms together. This is where the difference comes. So it's called the box method, so I'm going to make a box here. I'm going to leave myself a bit of room. Okay, so this is my box, right? And you want a box of 4 squares. Okay, you want a box of 4 squares. And in each square, you're going to write, in the top left square, you're going to write the 2x squared, whatever number's first. In the bottom right square, you're going to write your constant, which is 10. And in the top right and bottom left, you're going to write your 5x and your 4x. Okay, we got 4x here. Okay, so once you have your box set up, right, you have your x squared term in the top left, and you have your constant term in the bottom right, and you have your x terms in the top right and bottom left, right? Everything is all good. Now we're going to take out the greatest common factor of kind of each row and each column. So let's focus on this row right here, 2x squared and then positive 5x. What is the greatest common factor? What do both of them have that we can take out? Well, 2 and 5 don't have anything, right? They're not both even or both multiples of 3 or anything like that. So the only thing we can take out is an x because they both have an x in them. Okay, so now that we took out an x from this row, we know that's the greatest common factor. We have to say, well, x times what is going to equal 2x squared? Okay, and x times 2x is going to equal 2x squared. So this number, or this term times this term, should give us this right here in this cell. Okay, and we do the same thing for the 5x. We say, well, we know x is a factor of 5, but x times what? This is the what is going to give us 5x. Well, x times 5 is going to give us 5x, so we get a positive 5. We always write plus there. If it was negative 5, it would be minus 5. So this is one of our brackets after factoring. Okay, we're done that part. Now all we have to do is, we know now that 2x, the term up here, is going to be a factor of 4x. So 2x times what is going to give us 4x? 2x times positive 2 is going to give us 4x. Okay, so these are two brackets, x plus 2 and 2x plus 5. So over here, I'm just going to write 2x plus 5 and x plus 2. And this is the exact same answer as we got in the last question. It's just kind of a different way to get there. And again, if you're ever not sure, you can always expand it out, right? You can multiply everything into itself and see if you're on the right track here. So the questions can get a bit harder, but I'm not even really going to go over them, right? Because even if this 2 is a higher number, it's the exact same process. You take the coefficient and you multiply it by the constant. You find two numbers that add to the b value, which in this case was 9, and multiply to the product of the coefficient and the constant, right? And you set it up like this. You keep the first and last terms the same, and the middle terms are just different coefficients, and they should add to what you started with, right? We had, in this case, 5x plus 4x, that equaled 9x. So nothing changed, we kind of just split them up. And then this is where we set up our box, right? So the top left and the bottom right stay the same. And then we put that 5x and 4x in the top right and bottom left. Then we just took out our greatest common factors, blah, 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 and we got our two brackets. So that's how you factor using the box method. It's very similar to factoring by grouping, just kind of a different visual element that some people appreciate. So I hope this helped. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video when I talk about factoring.